Hey everybody, this is Brian Modansky of the Modansky Homes Team of Keller Williams Realty Charleston, Mount Pleasant. And today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about bank-owned foreclosures, also known as REOs, real estate owned. And for most people, I get calls all the time for people who want to get a great deal or investors who are looking to buy property, distressed properties. And if you're not an agent that's handled it, or you're a buyer that is looking to get into that, I would look for someone that's experienced with the process, because it is different with every government entity, every bank, every asset management company you deal with. It's different with the paperwork, it's different with the timelines, it's different with the contingency periods, it's different across the board. So you really want to have someone in your corner that is familiar with the process. A lot of times I get asked questions, well, where would I find foreclosures? Well, there's basically two ways. You can buy them at the county courthouse steps. The Master and Equities have sales monthly. And the properties that don't get sold at the Master and Equity sale, or get sold back to the bank or asset management company, those get listed on MLS. And typically, as part of a listing agent's job, they're not allowed to use language like distressed property, REO, foreclosure, bank owned, any of those items in their listing. So they don't get denoted or sorted that way. So you need an agent that's experienced at searching MLS and finding them. A lot of times I also get asked, how quickly will the seller respond to an offer? And again, that's another case-by-case basis. Some will respond immediately. Some I've had wait as long as 10 days. Some also have first look periods where they will only look at owner-occupant offers and won't look at investor offers. Some like it listed 3 days before they look at offers, 5 days, 7 days, 10 days. So again, you want to have a realtor that's familiar with the process. Will I get a response to an offer over the weekend? More than likely you will not. Most asset managers work Monday through Friday, so it's very rare that they'll catch up with offers during the weekend. That's also when agents are typically showing the most properties aren't near computers, so an asset manager is going to be working on other items they need to get cleared off their pile of things to get done. And I often also get asked, how do the asset management companies handle multiple offers? Typically, multiple offers are handled where the asset manager will request what they call highest and best. And there'll be a time period, usually 24 to 36 or as long as 48 hours, to have all offers that were submitted countered and returned with their highest and best offer. Now, we're not allowed to accept acceleration terms, so you can't make an offer $1,000 better than everyone else's offers. Otherwise, we'd have to allow that for everyone. So when you do come back with your highest and best termed offer, it needs to be your best offer. The paperwork is another question I get a lot about. What's different with the paperwork? So typically, depending on who you're dealing with, whether or not it's a government entity or a bank or an asset management company, they each have what they call their own seller addendum to the contract. So it's basically a document that gets made part of the contract, and it typically has language that makes it supersede the state contract. Meaning, if you write the offer one way and it's written some way on the other seller addendum, the seller addendum is going to overtake the state contract. So again, having an experienced agent that's reviewed these documents before, that's looked at seller addendums, that knows what to look for, that's really what you want to have in your corner. A lot of times I also get asked about submitting like a low ball offer. I don't suggest doing it. If it's listed for 150 and you submit 75, they're going to get rejected. There is strategy to submitting an offer sometimes as an investor, but again, that's something a seasoned agent can help walk you through. I often also get asked, once we've submitted an offer, it's accepted, is there an inspection period or contingency period? It does vary from bank to bank. Some of them are 100%. It's usually the rougher condition properties, as is no inspection. But most REOs you will find have some sort of inspection period. Again, that varies from bank to asset management company. Some are 5 days, 7 days, 10 days. I've seen a couple go as long as 14 days. But again, an experienced agent can walk you through that process. What happens if we find issues during the inspection period to the property? is another question that comes up quite often. Now, depends on who you're dealing with. A portion of the bank-owned properties you can't do any repairs to. They are 100% as is, no repairs. You're taking it as is, and you will and should be explained that before you submit an offer. Meaning, if something comes up during the inspection or the CL 100 and there's damage, you're taking it as is. So your paperwork needs to reflect no contingencies for a CL 100 in South Carolina. But you can make requests. Sometimes it's a monetary request for a reduction or a change in the closing costs, or it's for those specific repairs because the lender is going to require them. Again, you can make the request, but more times than not, once an offer is set, you're pretty much locked in. So I wouldn't use that as a strategy to get an accepted offer and we'll just ask for repairs or a discount or something during the process. It very rarely works. I would say probably only about 20 to 25%, and that may be on the high side of all properties that have had a request, actually had some sort of change to the contract or repairs made. Will the seller pay for a termite inspection? More times than not, I tell people just try to keep your offer clean. Inspections usually are no more than $150. It's not a big expense, so I suggest keeping that out of the contract if you can. I know it's a little different when you have a VA buyer. Sometimes I also get asked about contingent sales. Can I write an offer contingent on a sale of another property? And I would say that is a firm no. I've yet to ever see an offer with that contingency accepted. And I've submitted probably over 2,500 offers in the last 12 years. A lot of times I also get asked about, especially with investors, can we do like an and or assigned? Sometimes they write it up one way and they want to put it into an LLC, or they want to, they're thinking of buy it and they want to assign it to someone else. That does not work with bank-owned foreclosures. How you write the contract in the beginning is very important. If you're going to want to use a middle initial or a middle name, I suggest making sure you have it correct in the beginning. Asset managers hate requests. They hate corrections to contracts. There's a lot of processes and systems, not all interconnected, that have to be aligned for those things to go into place. Of course, they will make the changes, but the more you ask for, the less likely, if an issue does come up, that they're going to be willing to make those changes for you. So if you're interested in buying an investment property or a bank-owned foreclosure, feel free to give me a call at 843-628-8910. I'd be happy to sit down with you and talk about the process and how we can get you one of those great deals on a bank-owned foreclosure. Thanks everyone, and have a great day.